Let's change the pace up a little bit here, Tim, because I've got to ask you about this story. Tesla is in financial trouble with plans to lay off more than 10% of its workforce after a fall in, would you believe it, electric vehicle sales.
Well, nobody saw this coming except, everyone with a brain. It's as though they've reached a kind of a market cap here. Everyone who's able to recharge their electric vehicles at home, everyone who's able to afford electric vehicles in the first place. I mean, these are a finite and smaller than you'd want market, and they might have just hit just about every person who's in those sort of sectors as well. You've got to include in that market sector people who are able to spend 30, 40 minutes sitting around recharging their vehicles when they're away from their apartments or their homes where they have recharging capacity. It's not anywhere near, and it won't be for some years, if ever, going to be as easy for people to run these things as it is to run proper petrol and diesel vehicles.
No, and you're exactly right. This is half the problem. Yet here, of course, we've got a case where we've got Chris Bowen on a crusade telling us that this is the sort of car we should be driving, Tim.
Well, Chris Bowen and the left in general want us to live in apartments. It's ecological to keep people within a small sort of global or Earth footprint, so that they live upwards rather than outwards. There's less sprawl, there's less need for road and public transport, less consumption of the Earth's precious resources. At the same time, they want us to drive electric vehicles, which in apartment blocks are problematic to recharge. You wouldn't want some of those things being recharged beneath, a 10 or 20-storey building for reasons of obvious explosions, for example, and other sort of factors. It's not going to be an easy blend to push high tower living with high voltage cars.
Absolutely, Tim Blair, extraordinary, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining us this evening.